I have a few moments here tonight, and I thought, why not try this again? Try to beat this game again. I have not beat it yet. It's War of 1812 Solitaire Pocket Travel Game by Worthington Publishing. And I'll put a link below if you don't know anything about this game and you don't know any of the rules. I mean, it's very simple. It's a very simple game. But I'll put a link below to a previous video I recorded where I go into more details. But basically, you have a sequence of play here. You roll a die to determine how many resource points are available, right? Based on this little chart. You use your resource points to choose an action or actions to play and complete. And then you roll a die to determine the British bought action, which is on this chart. And then you advance the turn track, right? We have 20 tries. And repeat the turn sequence. What can we do with our resource points? Well, we can attack an adjacent British front marker in a town or fortified town on a front. There's 4 fronts. And these are the British here. And we're here. These are the starting towns we're in. And we need to push them back. We can technically win the game if at the end of any turn we have Montreal and York. Okay. We also win on victory points. We can look at the victory points later. And you get victory points by, of course, being in Montreal, being in York, and being up these different fronts here. You get points for that. If you have the lakes, you get VPs for that. Right now, they're in British control, the 3 lakes. We lose if at the end of after turn 4, the British control 2 of our initial starter cities. The Northwest Warriors can come in, and if they do, the Northwest Front is all -1 DRM. Depending on conditions, these British markers can be flipped over, which means any attack on them is going to be -1 DRM. Of course, these areas here are fortified, right? So they are also, to attack those areas, it's -1 DRM. So you can see how this can be difficult. These are our reserves, which allow us to re-roll a die, whether we're attacking or defending. So let's get started. Let's see how many resource points. I mean, hopefully I'll win this, right? We rolled a 1, so that's 1 resource point. And by the way, this is a pretty cool 3D printed dice tower, right? It's pretty cool, but it's not very functional because dice of all sizes just shoot out of here. They never stay in the little tray. But anyway, we rolled a 1. That means we have 1 resource point, and what I'm going to try to do is take over a lake. I'll try Lake Ontario, okay? And that's a 6. And here's the ship battle results, right? A 6, attacker wins, change control, so we did get that. Let's see what the British are going to do. A 4, it says here, flip over 2 British front markers to regulars, player's choice, if not flipped already. Well, none of them are flipped, but let's go with the ends, right? I was just showing you this earlier, so flipping them gives them a -1 DRM. Now this unit here is not in a fortified area, but these other 3 are, so it doesn't matter which one I flip over. It's -1 DRM because it's fortified, and an additional -1 because they have the British regulars. So that's not good. That's -2 to attack them there. Now, the regulars go away if we manage to push them. Then we get to flip it back to the normal side, and the regulars go away. So that is turn 1. Let's go to turn 2. Let's see how many. Okay, now we have 3 resource points. And it's important to take over these lakes, so I'm going to go ahead and fight in Lake Champlain. 1, 2, or 3 is no effect. Okay, so nothing happened there. That's my first resource point. Let me try Lake Erie. That's a 1, no effect. So that's 2 resource points. Let's add, I'm going to add a regular, the American regulars under there for now. Okay, that's for my third, because that's one of the actions, right? I can add a regular to a front. And I'm going to do that in case we want to re-roll. Okay, so let's see what the British are going to do now. A 6, it's an even turn, so reduce American regulars by 1, player's choice. Now, if it's between turns 17 and 20, peace occurs and the game ends immediately, and then we look at VPs, right? But I have to reduce American regulars by 1, and of course I only have 1 in the game, so this one goes, but it doesn't leave the game, it just sits out here and we could bring it back in. So that's unfortunate. The British regulars are here. Clearly they saw the American regulars coming in and they pushed them away. And that's how it goes. So let's go to turn 3. Okay, so again, we have 3 resource points. And I'm going to try Lake Champlain here. Well, actually, let me start with Lake Erie. That's a 4. That's attacker wins. So we did manage to do that in Lake Erie. What am I going to do with my other 2 resource points? I think I'm going to bring the regulars back in here. Just in case, because remember, after turn 4, if the British are in 2 of our starting towns, we lose. And with that, I know it's -2 here because it's fortified, but I'm going to go ahead and try anyway. Okay, with a -2 DRM. I'm going to try to fight here anyway. Here we go. I rolled a 1. Where is it? Oh, 1 and 2 is no advance. Of course, that's a terrible roll for us. So 1 and 2 is no advance. 3, 4, 5, and 6, the attacker wins and we advance. So nothing happened there for us. That was the last resource point. So let's see what the British are going to do. And they rolled a 6, which is, it's an odd turn. Indians on the warpath. Put marker in northwest warrior box if not in play. So the Indians have come in. We are getting a lot of action here on the northwest front. Except for Lake Erie, we took control of that. But now we have the Indians in play. So for me to fight here, it's at -3. -1 for the fortified area. -1 because they have the British regulars. And another -1 because the Indians are in play. So this is really difficult. Let's go to turn 4 now and see how many resource points we get. All right, we only get one resource point. I'm going to try to take the Northwest Warriors out of here. And I rolled a 5, remove warriors. So we managed to do that. Let's see what the British are going to do. A 5, it's an even turn. British Navy, attack American ships on American-controlled lakes. So we're going to be attacked on both Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Let's start with Lake Erie. They rolled a 4. That is, they managed to take it over. A lot going on here in the Northwest Front. And let's see in Lake Ontario, a 3, no effect. So let's advance to turn 5. And let's see how many resource points we get. We get 1 resource point. 1 resource point. Wasting a lot of time here. Let's go here again with the -2 DRM. Let's go. We rolled a 3, -2 is a 1, no advance. I could use my regular to re-roll, but I'm going to save that for a defense, because if they push in, we can attempt to try to push them out. Let's see what the British are going to do. A 4, flip over 2 British front markers to regulars, player's choice, if not flipped already. Well, we already have 2 British front markers flipped over, right? So we don't need to flip the other 2, because that's what it says here, right? Flip over 2 British front markers to regulars, if not flipped already. Well, we have 2 flipped over, so we don't need to flip any more over. Let's go to turn 6. We get 1 resource point again, and this is rough. And I'm going to insist, I'm going to fight here in the Northwest Front with a -2. We rolled 5 -2 is 3, so we have managed to win. So we push them back here, and they lose the regulars, and now we're in the fortified area. So that's good for them to attack us. It's going to be a -1. So we managed to do it, even though we only had 1 resource point. Let's see what the British are going to do. I'm sure they didn't like that. It's an even turn, turn 6. British Navy, attack American ships on American-controlled lakes. So they're going to attack us here in Lake Ontario. And it's a 5, and that's an attacker wins. So they did win here. They took the control of Lake Ontario. Let's go to turn 7. And again, we got 1 resource point. I mean, it's just cruelty. I mean, this 1812 was known as a difficult war, you know, and a slow one. But this is terrible. We got 1 resource point. Let's try to take over Lake Erie. Why not? Oops. Let's try to take over Lake Erie. Oh, come on. I got the camera here in front of me. That's why I can't see. We're going to try to take over Lake Erie. That's a 3. No effect. No effect. Let's see what the British are going to do. A 3 on a odd turn. British Navy, if the British control Lake Champlain, retreat the American Northeast front marker 1 town, otherwise attack the American ships on Lake Champlain. The British do control Lake Champlain, so the Northeast front marker is pushed 1 town back. So this is what I was talking about. This unit is in our starter city. And our unit stays just outside the city because, of course, we're allowed to push back in. See, this would have been a good opportunity to have some regulars put in there, you know. The problem is I just kept rolling one resource point. So, I mean, there's not much I can do. But they've already taken one of our cities. We're going to need to fight back and quickly. Now we got 3 resource points. So, what are we going to do? We got 3 resource points. First, let me just try to push this unit out, right, at -1. I'm going to try to do that with my first resource point. This is ridiculous. I can't even throw the dice into the dice tower. Granted, it's a small opening up here, but still. Oh, come on. 5. 5 is, of course, the attacker wins. So we managed to push them back, and of course, the regulars go away when we push them back, right? So we managed to do that. That's our first resource point. The second resource point, I'm going to try to take over Lake Champlain, and that's a 6. So the ship results, we managed to do it. And should I try? Let me try Lake Ontario. We rolled a 3. That's no good. No effect. So let's see what the British are going to do. A 5. It's an even turn. British Navy attack American ships on American-controlled lakes. They're going to try to take Lake Champlain right back. And that is a 5. They managed to do it. It's been a tough battle in these lakes. Very tough. Let's go to turn 9. Let's see how many resource points we get. We get 2 resource points. We get 2. We really need to start pushing these units back. It's just, we've been kind of battling the lakes, but you know, it really could be a problem. I have 2 resource points. You know, I'm going to try to push. I'm going to try to push here. That is not a fortified area, so I'm going to try to push here in the northeast front. Okay, we rolled a 5. We succeeded. Now they're in a fortified area, right? So it would be a -1. We managed to do that. Let's try in the northwest front, because we did okay over there. Let's try it again. We rolled a 1. That's not successful. No advance. Let's see what the British are going to do. And a 5. They keep rolling 5s. It's on an odd turn. So again, British Navy attacks ships on American control lakes. All the lakes are controlled by the British, right? So let's go to turn 10. And let's see how many resource points. We get 1 resource point. Just 1. So this is not fortified. Let's push here in the northwest front. We managed to do it. We managed to do it. Let's see what the British are going to do. I'm sure they're not happy about that. A 3 on a even turn. If the British control Lake Ontario, retreat the American Niagara front marker 1 town, otherwise attack American ships on Lake Ontario. Well, the British do control Lake Ontario, so we have to push back our Niagara unit. They've taken that over, so we have to stand off to the side here. That's not good. Let's go to turn 11. See how many resource points. We got 3 resource points. First thing I'm going to do is put an American regular under here. Okay, because we may need it. And I'm going to push for my second resource point. I'm going to push back here. We managed to do it, so that's good. We got 1 more resource point left. While we got battle going on in here, let's try to take Lake Ontario. And we managed to do it. So the action here was pretty good. Let's see what the British are going to do. A 2 on the odd. British Navy. British control Lake Erie. Retreat the American Northwest Front marker one town. They do control Lake Erie, so they've managed to push us back here. Okay, let's go to turn 12. We have 3 resource points. We have 3 resource points. What am I going to do? 3 resource points. I'm going to... This is fortified there, here. I'm going to push here in the northwest front. Okay, we got 3 resource points. That's a 4. We managed to do it. Let's try it one more time. Another 4. We managed to do it again. Let's try control of Lake Erie. That's a cocked die. Control of Lake Erie, no effect. So those were our 3 resource points. We did pretty good here in the northwest front. Let's see what the British are going to do. I rolled a 1 on an even track. Attack the American front marker on the northwest and Niagara fronts. So we're being attacked here and here. Let's see what happens in the northwest front first. It's a 5. The attacker wins. I'm not going to use our regulars just yet. Now, I may use them here for a reroll because we have a regulars under there. So here, they're going to try to attack us here. And that's a 4, right? So they succeeded here. I'm going to use the American regulars to re-roll. And they succeeded even better the second time. So we got pushed back. So they have control of 1 of our starter cities. Let's go to turn 13 and see how many markers we get. That's a 3. We get 2 markers. I'm going to go ahead and try to push here in Fort Niagara. We succeeded in pushing them. I'm going to push again, even though I have a -1 because it's fortified. We got 3 minus 1 is 2, no advance. So we did not manage to do that. Let's see what the British are going to do. A 6, that's turn 13 on an odd turn. Indians on the warpath, put marker in northwest warrior box if not in play. So the Indians have come back. Let's go to turn 14, see how many resource points we get. We get 1 resource point. Now to attack here, we're gonna have a -1 because of the Indians. That is not a fortified area. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna try to get rid of we have 1 resource marker. I'm gonna try to get rid of the Indians. We rolled a 5, so we remove the warriors. Let's see what the British are gonna do now. That's a cocked die, right? Come on. I'm telling you, this dice tower is not very good. So we rolled a 5. What were we rolling for? Oh, the British. Because I just got rid of the Indians here. The British rolled a 5 on an even turn. Attack American ships on American-controlled lakes. So they're going to attack us in Lake Ontario. And a 3 is no effect. They did not manage to take it over. Let's go to turn 15. We got 1 resource point. Wow, 1 resource point. That stinks. I'm going to try to push here in the northeast front. It is a -1, but let's go for it. 2 -1, no good. So let's see what the British are going to do. They rolled a 1, so that's an odd 1. Defend Lower Canada. Attack the American front marker on the northeast and St. Lawrence fronts. So we're going to be attacked here in the northeast and St. Lawrence. Let's go in the northeast first. Okay, that is a success. They managed to push us back. Let's see in the St. Lawrence front. A 1, they failed. Let's go to turn 16. How many resource points? Okay, we got 3. We got 3 resource points. You see how close this game is? And it's so tough. We got 3 resource points. Let's continue the push here in the northwest front. Though I would love to go into Montreal. But let's go here because I'm feeling good about this. That's a 4. We managed to do it. We're going to try it again with our second resource point. A 3. We managed to do it. And we're going to try again now, our third resource point. But now we have a -2 DRM to get into York. The heck with it. Let's go. We rolled a 2, so that didn't work. Let's see what the British are going to do. 5, and it's an even turn, turn 16. British Navy attack American ships on American-controlled lakes. They're going to attack us in Lake Ontario. And a 3 is no effect. Okay, so let's see how many. Let's go to turn 17 and see how many resource points. We only get 1 resource point. I'm going to try to attack here in the northwest front with a -2. We rolled a 6, -2 is a 4. We're in. We got into York. Now, for them to get back in, it's also a -2, right? We got into York. Let's see what the British are going to do. A 1 on a odd turn. Defend Lower Canada, attack the American front marker on the northeast and St. Lawrence fronts. The game could end right here if they win both of these. So let's go in the northeast front. It's northeast. Yep, it's an odd, northeast and St. Lawrence. So let's go here first. Okay, that is a success. And the game could be over right now if the St. Lawrence front, and this is why these American regulars are so important, because we could re-roll the die. Let's see what happens here. They did not succeed, thankfully. Wow, they did not succeed. Let's go to turn 18. Let's see how many resource points we get. We get 2 resource points. We have 2 resource points. We got to try to push them back here. Let's do it. We succeeded here. Let's try to take over because we get -2 VP for each lake controlled by the British, right? So let's try to take Lake Champlain. We rolled a 3. That is no effect. Let's see what the British are going to do. They rolled a 3 on a even turn. If the British control Lake Ontario, retreat the American. They don't control Lake Ontario, so they're going to attack us there. They're attacking us here. And that's a 4. They did manage to get it back. Turn 19. Let's see how many resource points we get. 3. We get 2 resource points. I'm going to try the lakes. I'm telling you, we got 1 more turn left. I'm going to try Lake Ontario. We got it. And let's try Lake Erie. Come on, that's a 6. We got it. All right, let's see what the British are going to do. A 4. Flip over 2 British front markers to regulars, if not flipped already. Well, they're not flipped. So let's flip these 2 because they're the least active, right? Let's flip those 2. Because remember, we managed to flip them back. Now, this is our last turn. It's our last turn. Let's see how many resource points. We got 3 resource points. So let's take Lake Champlain. And the 4, we managed to take it. And what are we going to do here? Let's try to push. This is not fortified. Let's try the next two in the northeast front. We managed to do it. And let's try one more with a -1. Ah, we did not do it. So turn 20, that's the end of the game. Let's look at the VPs, right? Add 6 VP if Montreal is occupied by the Americans. It's not. 3 VP if York is occupied. Okay, York is occupied, so we got 3 points. Add 1 VP for each town. Advanced occupied. Oh, so that's, so we have 3 VP, but we started in here, so we advanced. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have 7 points because we get 1 VP for each town other than our starting town, right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 points. For each lake, we get 1, 7, 8, 9. But we get, 10. We control all 3 lakes. Okay. So we have 10 points. Deduct 2 VP for each lake controlled by the British. Luckily, we managed to do this. So we have 10 points. The Northwest Warrior marker is not in play. And for any American flag town occupied by the British, there are none. So we got 10 points. What's 10 points? Let's see. I don't have this memorized, so let's see what 10 points is. Where is it? Here it is. 10 points is a British win. Canada will remain with Great Britain. If the score is 6 or less, the Americans will lose territory. So we were close to getting more, which would have been, if we had 11, it would have been a draw, right? We got 10. Oh, well, listen, at least we tried, right? It's just such a cool little game. War of 1812, Solitaire. I enjoy it. It tells a little story, right? We had action over here, and this happened, and that happened. It's a fun game. Thank you for watching.